Hey, Shalawam to my Akim, YAHAWAH, and Yahawashi, mashiac. Peace and greetings to my brothers and sisters in the Lord. Man, we're going to go ahead and get to this lesson. We're going to be talking about the original creation of man and how, going back to the beginning, we'll see what the reward is in the end. What man will be reinstated to, and chiefly and firstly, the elect 144,000. Following afterwards, the house of Israel, the house of Yarsharahl. We're gonna be reading out of the Cave of Treasures, and I couldn't find this book online as an app to where I can screen record it to where you can read it with me. So I'm gonna read it to you all, and I will be doing some cross-referencing from the Bible as well. I pray that this really be edifying for the body, man, and this is a lesson I've been wanting to do for a few months, man. And as soon as I started reading this back like in November, then I put it in my heart to do a lesson on it, yo. Man, Shaitan really started attacking me, yo. I went to hell and back. For real, man. But Yah is good. I'll pray this to Yahawashi, Yahawashi, and we're going to get into it, man. Let's get into it, man. I pray that this is a blessing to you, and that it may open up your understanding, man. Let's go to the creation, the fifth day. Excuse me, Salak. We're gonna go to the creation, the sixth day. Okay, because man was created in the sixth day. And this is from the book of the Cave of Treasures. And this is the sixth day of creation. And my copy, it is in page 32. And we're gonna continue, okay? And after this reading, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this video and do a separate lesson and combine the two. Hopefully it comes out pretty clean, and some mysteries will be revealed. Let's go ahead and get on to it. The creation, the sixth day. And on the sixth day, which is the eve of the Shabbat, Yahawashi formed man out of the dust, and Eve from his rib. And on the seventh day, Yahawashi rested from his labors, and it is called the Sabbath. The creation of Adam. Now the formation of Adam took place in this wise. On the sixth day, which is the eve of the Shabbat, at the first hour of the day, when quietness was reigning over all the ranks of the angels and hosts of heaven, and Yahawashi said, "Come ye, let us make man in our image, and according to our likeness." Now by this word, us, he maketh known concerning the glorious persons of what many will call the Trinity. Okay, and it really is one solitude spirit, but in three different identities. Okay, but that's not what this lesson is going to be about. It is overall just the spirit of Yahweh. Okay, so let's continue. And when the angels heard this utterance, they fell into a state of fear and trembling. They said to one another, "A mighty miracle will be made manifest to us this day, the likeness of Yahweh our Maker." And they saw the right hand of Yahweh opened out flat and stretched out over the whole world, and all creatures were collected in the palm of his right hand. And they saw that he took from the whole mass of the earth 1 grain of dust, and from the whole nature of water 1 drop of water, and from all the air which is above 1 puff of wind, and from the whole nature of fire a little of its heat and warmth. And the angel saw that when these 4 feeble or inert materials were placed in the palm of his right hand, that is to say, cold and heat and dryness and moisture, Yahawashi formed Adam. Now, for what reason did Yahawashi make Adam out of these 4 materials, unless it were to show that everything which is in the world should be in subordination to him and through them? He took a grain from the earth in order that everything in nature which is formed of earth should be subject unto him, and a drop of water in order that everything which is in the seas and rivers should be his, and a puff of air so that all kinds of creatures which fly in the air might be given unto him, in the heat of fire, so that all the beings that are fiery in nature and the celestial host might be his helpers. Okay, we should know that the celestial beings, aka the angels, are created from smokeless fire. Okay, they're beings of fire. Okay, let's continue. And then let me just make this point. And we just read that Adam had a part of the heat of fire, so that the creatures that are fiery in nature, being the celestial host, might even be subjected unto him. Okay. Yahweh formed Adam with his holy hands in his own image and likeness. And when the angels saw Adam's glorious appearance, they were greatly moved by the beauty thereof. For they saw the image of his face burning with glorious splendor like the orb of the sun. And the light of his eyes was like the light of the sun. And the image of his body was like unto the sparkling of crystal. And when he rose at full length and stood upright in the center of the earth, he planted his 2 feet on that spot whereon was set up the cross of our Redeemer. For Adam was created in Jerusalem. There he was arrayed in the apparel of sovereignty, and there was the crown of glory set upon his head. There was he made king and priest and prophet. There did Yahweh make him to sit upon his honorable throne. And there did Yahweh give him dominion over all creatures and things. And all the wild beasts and all the wild cattle and the feathered fowl were gathered together. And they passed before Adam, and he assigned names to them. And they bowed their heads before him, and everything in nature worshipped him, and submitted themselves unto him. And the angels and the hosts of heaven heard the voice of Yahweh saying unto him, Adam, behold, I have made thee king, and priest, and prophet, and Lord, and head, and governor of everything which has been made and created. And they shall be in subjection unto thee, and they shall be thine. And I have given unto thee power over everything which I have created. And when the angels heard this speech, they all bowed the knee and worshipped him. Yep. The angels had to bow down and worship, man. Okay. All right, let's continue. I'm skipping over the little side notes. All right. The revolt of Hashatan and the battle in heaven. Now, this is where we're going to cut into a lot of heresies, man. And it has to get touched on, dog. You know, I'm just going to read, you know, whether you forbear it or, you know, you don't want to forbear it, whatever. But I'm just going to read it. The revolt of Hashatan and the battle in heaven. And this is going to reveal what this is all about, what this life is about, man, what this war is about, man. And it's going to shock you. Okay, let's continue. And when the prince of the lower order of angels saw what great majesty had been given unto Adam, he was jealous of him from that day, and he did not wish to worship him. And he said unto his host, Ye shall not worship him, ye shall not praise him with the angels. It is meet that ye should worship me, because I am fire and spirit. And not that I should worship a thing of dust, for which has been fashioned of fine dust. And the rebel meditating these things would not render obedience to Yahawah, and of his own free will he asserted his independence and separated himself from Yahawah. But he was swept away out of heaven and fell, and the fall of himself and of all his company from heaven took place on the 6th day at the 2nd hour of the day. And the apparel of their glorious state was stripped off of them, and his name was called Satana, because he turned aside from the right way, and Shaddai, because he was cast out, and Daiwa, because he lost the apparel of his glory. Okay, and behold, from that time until the present day, he and all his hosts have been stripped of their apparel, and they go naked and have horrible faces. And when Satana was cast off from heaven, okay, this is Hashatan, this is Azazel, that's his name, that's the angel who rebelled. Okay, and we can go into I probably should have bought that book out, the Pseudographia, the Apocalypse of Abraham, and I've touched on this in other videos. It exposed who this deity was that tempted Eve, and it was Azazel. And if you go into the book of Enoch, Azazel was the one teaching women how to paint their faces, enchantments, how to fashion swords, weaponry, things like that, man. But you know, there's a lot of cross-referencing that I would need to do. I had to probably pull out 3 or 4 books. You know, I could do it, but for the sake of this lesson, man, to keep it brief, I'm just going to continue. But that you should all know that, okay, that it is Azazel. That's the high-ranking unclean rebel, original rebel, man. That's who people call the devil, man. Okay. So let's continue. And of course, his it says all of his hosts were the angels that he had rule over. We might go into that a little bit later. Who followed him, okay, in their rebellion, and it was all rooted in jealousy because Azazel, Shaitan, is a bitch. He's a faggot, and he didn't want to bow down to Adam. Okay, we have authority over these deities. You understand? And this is something that we need to know. Okay. This is why when you're walking in the spirit, man, you have the authority over these deities to cast out demons that cause sicknesses, okay, to cast out demons that cause lunatic behavior, you know, all different types of sorts, man, because they affect people in different ways. And that was one of the reasons why I had posted that video in the link of the Testament of Solomon, man. It was so that y'all can understand, okay, the demonic principalities and their authorities, spiritual authorities, okay? And it helps you to understand the battle that you're really in, okay? You gotta know how to fight the enemy. The enemy has an army too. He has an army too, okay? And they putting in work down here. Well, let's continue. Adam was raised up so that he might ascend to paradise in a chariot of fire. And the angels went before him, singing praises. And the seraphim ascribed holiness unto him. And the cherubim ascribed blessings. And amid cries of joy and praises, Adam went into paradise. And as soon as Adam entered paradise, he was commanded not to eat of a certain tree. His entrance into heaven took place at the 3rd hour of the eve of the Shabbat. Okay. I'm going to skip over these notes, even though they're very interesting, but I'm trying to, you know, keep it straightforward. All right. Let's go back to this rebellion, man. When Shaitan saw Adam seated on a great throne with a crown of glory on his head and a scepter in his hand, and all the angels worshiping him, he was filled with anger. And when YAHAWAH said to him, "Come thou also, for thou shalt worship my image and likeness," Shaitan refused to do so. And assuming an arrogant and insolent manner, he said, "It is meet that he should worship me, for I existed before he came into being." When the Father saw his overbearing attitude, he knew that Shaitan's wickedness and rebellion had reached their highest pitch. He ordered the celestial soldiers to take from him the written authority that was in his hand, to strip off his armor, and to hurl him down from heaven to earth. Shaitan was the greatest of the angels, and YAHAWAH had made him the commander-in-chief of the celestial host. And in the document which Shaitan held in his hand were written the names of all the angels under his command. Knowing their names, his authority over them was absolute. When YAHAWAH saw that the angels hesitated to take the document from him, he commanded them to bring a sharp reaping knife and to stab him on his side and that side, right through his body to the backbone and shoulder blades. And Shaitan could no longer stand upright. And the cherub smote him and broke his wings and his ribs. Yep, Azazel's bitch ass was de-winged. Yep, they cut his wings right off his ass, man. Yep, and he was cast down to earth. Him and the 1/3 of the rebellious angels that followed him, they lost their glory. That's why demons look horrendous. That's why they're very terrifying in the way they look. Okay, this is where it came from. They fell from glory, all because Shaitan Azazel was being a little jealous bitch. He ain't want to bow the knee. He and you know what? Man, we can get really deep about this, man, because this same rebellion is put into the woman. You understand? Especially the Israelite woman against the Israelite man. Okay? This is why Azazel goes through the women. This is what they did in the times of Noah. They went through the woman. Okay? To overcome the man. And this is it's very vague how I'm putting it, but it's a huge thing even in today, in this modern day Babylon society. You understand? All these holidays. See, there's a reason why this place is called Daughter of Babylon, because the culture is Babylonian. And when you serve these other deities and these other holidays, that's exactly what you're doing. You're serving demons, okay, who are in the same accord with Hashatan, with Azazel. So it's really devil worship, okay. And that's why this is called the Daughter of Babylon, America, because it has taken this same culture, okay, of serving Satan, basically. I don't give a fuck. It's from birthdays to Halloween, of course, that's an obvious one, to Valentine's Day, all these holidays, man, all satanic. Not to get off topic, but it's typically pushed through the woman. It really is, man. And that's just something I wanted to bring out. I could have probably kept that to myself, but it's just some things I like to meditate on while I'm reading, man. You know, through the woman we all come here, man, but through her we all die as well. These traditions, you know, are passed on through, a lot of the times, through our woman, man. You know, these vanities. And Yahawashi and Yahawashi don't like no jellyback men who can't put their foot down, okay, and who don't stand up for righteousness, man. You know, and that's why here in this time, man, it fulfilled the prophecy of our woman overpassing us, man, getting above us. You know, that's how Yahawashi and Yahawashi is punishing us men, okay. But as you see, the original rebels, man, the original rebellion was with Azazel and the angels that were under his charge, because Azazel was a high-ranking angel. Okay. Yep. But where we leave off, he was smote. His wings were cut off his bitch ass, and yeah, he fell from glory. But let's continue. Okay. And having rendered him helpless, he cast Satan down from heaven upon the earth. Then he became the archdevil and the leader of those who were cast out of heaven with him, and who henceforth were devils. Okay. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Let's get on to the making of Eve. And Yahweh cast a deep sleep upon Adam, and he slept. And Yahweh took a rib from the loins of the right side of Adam. He made Kawah, which in parentheses Eve, from it. And when Adam woke up, he saw Eve. He rejoiced in her greatly. And Adam and Eve were in paradise, and clothed with glory, and shining with praise for 3 hours. Now this paradise was situated on a high range of hills, and it was 30 spans, according to the measurement of the Spirit, higher than all the high mountains, and it surrounded the whole earth. All right. Yeah, man. The creation of Eve. There's some good notes in here, man, that I want to get to, but I might be ending this soon. Man, I'm going to read some of these notes, man. It says, notes, Yahweh did not make Eve of the earth, that she might not be considered something alien to Adam in nature. And he did not take her from Adam's foreparts, for she might not lift herself up against him, nor from his hind parts, that she might not be accounted despicable, nor from his right side, that she might not have preeminence over him, nor from his head, that she might not seek authority over him, nor from his feet, that she might not be trodden down and scorned in the eyes of her husband. But he took her from his left side. For the side is a place which unites and joins both the front and the back. Okay. Further, Yahweh did not form Eve from Adam's head, that she might not carry her head proudly, nor from his eye, that she might not be curious, nor from his ear, that she might not be an eavesdropper, nor from his mouth, that she might not be a gossiper, nor from his heart, that she might not be quarrelsome, nor from his hand, that she might not touch everything with her hand, nor from his feet, that she might not rove about. Yep. Yep, this is some good notes right there, man. It's funny because everything we just read pertaining to the, to wicked woman is like, that's exactly the things they do. Just completely out of order. All right. Let me read a couple more notes. Paradise was situated on Mount Eden, beyond the ocean, and it was filled with fruit-bearing trees. The great river which sprung up in it was parted into 4 heads. Okay. Pishon, which flowed through Havilah, where there were barrels and gold and stones of price. Gihon, or the Nile of Egypt. Dikloth, the Tigris, which flows through Assyria. And Parath, the Euphrates. The keepers of paradise were Enoch and Elijah, and in it dwelt the souls of the righteous. The souls of the sinners dwelt in a deep place outside of Eden. Now, this is a huge mystery, man. It's some heavy meat right here, because if we go into the, and I've actually did a study out of this book, The Apocalypse of Abraham. It talks about, man, I'm gonna get it out. I got to, man. I can't keep referring to it and I don't read it to y'all, man. Let me get that book out right now. Because just like Yahawashi and Yahawashi created and have known the elect from the beginning, right? The wicked were formed in the beginning too. Everybody's in their lot. They were all there in the garden already. All the souls, all the spirits, they were already there. This is why when Cain killed Abel and was removed, and to be a vagabond and a wanderer, he was scared. Oh man, let me find this Apocalypse of Abraham real quick, y'all. Damn, I ain't been in this encyclopedia in a minute, but I gotta get it. Let's find this. Let's see, Enoch. Where we at? 1 second, y'all. Let me find this so I can read this to y'all. Here we go. Okay. Apocalypse of Abraham. Yep. Was when Abraham's dad was killed. 1 second. Where are we? Yeah. Shaitan, Azazel tried to tempt Abraham too. We sure did. I'm trying to. 1 second, I can. One second, Akim. I'm trying to get to it. Because Abraham was shown the Garden of Eden and what happened. Here we go. Alright. This is the Apocalypse of Abraham, chapter 23. Let me go ahead and read the whole thing. It's very short. This is, now we're in the pseudegraphy, the pseudepigrapha and apocrypha, the lost and rejected scriptures. This is an encyclopedia by Joseph B. Lumpkin. I highly recommend this book. Okay, has a lot of books in it. But we're in the Apocalypse of Abraham. We're at chapter 23. Now look again in the vision and see who it is that seduced Eve and what the fruit of the tree was, and you will know what is to be and how it will be for your progeny among the people at the end of the days of the age. And all that you cannot understand, I will make known to you, for you are well pleasing in my sight. And I will tell you of those things which are kept in my heart. Okay, this is Yahawashi talking to Abraham. Then I looked into the vision, and my eyes looked at the side of the Garden of Eden, and I saw there a man of imposing height, and he was great, powerful in stature, incomparable in appearance. This was Adam that he was looking at. He was embracing and entwined with a woman who looked like his size and stature. They were standing under a tree of the Garden of Eden, and the fruit of this tree was like a bunch of grapes on a vine. Standing behind the tree was one who had the appearance of a serpent and of a dragon, but it had the hands and feet of a man, and it had wings on its shoulder. There were 6 pairs of wings, so that there were 6 wings on the right shoulder and 6 on the left shoulder. As I continued looking, I saw the man and the woman eating the fruit from the tree, and the serpent or the dragon was holding the grapes of the tree and feeding them to the two I saw embracing each other. And I said, who are these two that embrace? And who is this between them? And what is the fruit that they are eating, Almighty Eternal One? And he said, this is the world of men. This is humanity. This one is Adam. And that one who is their desire upon the earth is Eve. We all know woman is the desire of man. Okay. Verse 10. But he who is between them is the ungodliness of their behavior that is sending them on their way to perdition. It is Azazel. Okay. And I said, Eternal Mighty One, why have you given the likes of him, Azazel, the power to destroy mankind, children or generations of men, and their works upon the earth? And he said to me, I gave him power over them who want to do evil, those whom I have already hated, and they will even come to love him. So there are people who Yahawashi already hated them. You understand this? Let's continue. Verse 13. And I said, Eternal Mighty One, why did you want to bring into existence an evil that men would desire in their hearts, since you are angered at what was chosen by those who do useless, vain, unprofitable things in your light or in your counsel and presence? And let's go to chapter 24. He said unto me, I'm angered by mankind on your account and on the account of those who will be of your family to come. Why? Because Israel wicked as hell. Our people wicked, man. It's sad, but let's continue. Because as you can see in the vision, the burden of destiny is placed upon them. And I will tell you what will be and how much will take place in the last days. Now look at everything in the vision. And I looked and saw the created beings that had come into existence before me. And I saw Adam and Eve and the cunning adversary who was with them, the crafty Cain, who had been influenced by the adversary to break the law. So Azazel hopped on Cain, right? And I saw the murdered, slaughtered who was Abel, and the destruction brought on him was caused through the lawless one, which was Azazel. And I saw their fornication, and those who desired it, and its defilement, and their jealousness, and the fire of the corruption, and the lower depths of the earth. That is hell. Got Aki, I'm out here talking about hell ain't real, man. Come on, man. So keep reading. And I saw theft and those who run after it, and the means and ways of their punishment at the judgment of the great court. And I saw naked men with their foreheads against each other, and their disgrace, and the passions which they had for each other, and their retribution, and the shame and harm they worked against one another. That homosexuality, man. And I saw desire, and in her hand was the head of every kind of lawlessness, and her scorn and contempt was what slut. And I saw desire, the spirit of desire. Abraham saw it. And in her hand was the head of every kind of lawlessness, and her scorn and contempt and waste was assigned to destruction. So, you know, out of desire, the spirit of desire, comes a lot of lawlessness. But let me see. I'm trying to find. One second. I'm trying to find something else. I might talk about it in another video. But basically how there were others in the garden. There were other souls there. Yeah, there were other souls in the garden, but nonetheless, we'll continue with the caves of treasures, man. All right. Yeah, but Enoch, Elijah, all the souls of the righteous and the souls of the wicked, all the spirits, they were created already. This is how in Jeremiah, we're gonna talk about it when I break off and do the other study. Let's see if anything else I want to read. All right, let's go to Satan's attack on Adam and Eve. And when Shaitan saw that Adam and Eve were happy and joyful in paradise, that rebel was smitten sorely with jealousy, and he became filled with wrath. And he went and took up his abode in the serpent. We talked about this in the Apocalypse of Moses. Okay? Azazel possessed a snake. But this is before snakes used to have legs, man. Like lizards. You know what I'm saying? That animal or that reptile was smitten and cursed for allowing Shaitan to use it as a vessel to deceive and to temporarily overcome the image and glory of Yahawashi and Yahawashi, okay, which is man, okay. But let's continue. And he went and took up his abode in the serpent, and he raised him up and made him to fly through the air to the skirts of Mount Eden, whereon was paradise. Now, why did Satan enter the body of the serpent and hide himself therein? Because he knew that his appearance was foul, and that if Eve saw his form, she would betake herself to flight straightway before him. Satan is ugly, man. These demons are hideous. They got long, sharp teeth, long tongues. They hideous, man. They're very scary looking. A lot of stuff you see in horror movies, man, are nothing but re-images of demons. So I'm not gonna get too deep into what they look like, man. They're horrifying. They have no beauty, because beauty is of Yahawashi and Yahawashi, man. And when Shaitan and the angels under him rebelled, they lost that. It was a separation that occurred. So when you separate from Yahawashi and Yahawashi, you have no beauty anymore. You know what I'm saying? You're the opposite of that, okay? Ugly, hideous, disgusting. Okay, now let's continue. One second. I'm reading through the notes. Get to something prevalent. All right. All right. With the object of making Eve believe that it was the serpent that spoke to her, did Satan enter in and dwell in the serpent, and he watched for the opportunity. And when he saw Eve by herself, he called her by her name. And when she turned around towards him, she saw her own form reflected in him, and she talked to him. And Satan led her astray with his lying words, because of the nature of woman is soft and yielding. So Shaitan is Azazel. See, man, even Esau knows this shit, man. That's why he has to go to the woman, man, because your nature is, you're easily, oh man, you're soft and you're yielding. You get a program and you follow it. You understand? It's harder to straight up deceive a man. Now these days, these men have soft and yielding natures, but you're not supposed to, man. You're supposed to stand firm. You know? It's a lot for all the noise in the background, man. Yep, even Shaitan knew that Eve's nature was soft and yielding, man. And that's why he went after her. It says when Eve had heard from him concerning that tree, straightway she ran quickly to it, and she plucked the fruit off of disobedience from the tree of transgression. Okay? And she ate. Then immediately she found herself stripped naked. She lost her glory. We talked about this in the Apocalypse of Moses. And she saw the hatefulness of her shame. And she ran away naked and hid herself in another tree and covered her nakedness with the leaves thereof. And she cried out to Adam. And he came to her. She handed him some of the fruit which was on that she had eaten. And he also did eat thereof. And when he had eaten, he also became naked. So they lost their glory at that point. But I wanted to start with this because how Adam was originally, that's all I'm going to read out the Cave of Treasures right now. But how Adam was originally created, it's gonna go back like that for the elect, right? For the elect, man. Made us gods again. You know, hope it wasn't too messy or, confusing. Kind of rolled in the spirit with it. But nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and close out this portion of the video, and I'm going to start the screen recording to do some precepting with some Bible verses, right? So it all makes sense. We can wrap it all up, man. But this is what we're going to have to look forward to, man. And this is some stuff that Jake need to hear, that the so-called black man need to hear, that, that we are something, man. There's promises made to our people, not just black people, but Israel in general, so-called Native Americans, Hispanics, and Negroes, man. There's promises and a new covenant that's made to our people, despite how crazy things about to get and how crazy things are, despite how a woman treat us. You know what I'm saying? We're bred in this place to be destroyed and to feel destroyed. Through bouts of depression. You know what I'm saying? The woman disrespecting you. Your kids don't respect you. You know what I mean? Just all types of stuff Jake going through, man. But we stay firm in this faith, man, and believe in the promises. We're going to be reinstituted to a God state in a similar manner of how Adam was. Even the angels had to bow down to him. You understand? His glory was indescribable. Indescribable glory. You understand? And this is what's coming for the elect, for the first fruits, for the 144,000. You understand? And it's almost going to be time very soon. Because those four, y'all think shit getting real now? It ain't get real yet. Them 4 angels in the Euphrates haven't been released yet. That's when it's going to get really real. That's when the winds of destructions are really going to be going. That's some things, everything we've been prophesying, all the great evils that are ahead. That's when it's really going to be, great tribulation out here. Right now, it's not the case. But when Yahawashi lifts up his elect, man, we have a lot to look forward to, man. The new body, incorruptible. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. But I'm going to go ahead and end this portion of it. And I'm going to go into a screen record and do some precepting to try to wrap this thing up, man. I pray that thus far has been edifying.